Well, thank you very much. Saddam Hussein's trial could be televised throughout the Arab world and around the world. Iraq's national security advisor says he expects the war crimes trial to start sometime in October. And if the logistics are all worked out, there will be cameras in the courtroom. Can you imagine this? Is that a good idea? Ahmed Younis is the national director of the Muslim Public Affairs Council. Ahmed, thanks for being with us. Well, question to you. Do you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely, it's a good idea. You know, conspiracy theories are very much a part of post-conflict and conflict culture amongst the people that bear the brunt of the oppression. And that very much is because, in many ways, mass violence requires conspiracies and conspiracy theories in order to be enacted upon a people like Saddam Hussein. So in our attempt to ensure that this is a legitimate process, we have to do two things. We have to ensure that there is a complete transparency as to the proceedings and the substantive nature of the case.
Right.
And we have to ensure that there's a depoliticization of the process in and of itself. Remember, this is an Iraqi tribunal trying their dictator whose crimes were upon the Iraqi people, and what we have to ensure is that it's legitimate and transparent in order to pursue this democracy project that is very germane to the will of the Iraqi people. But let's keep in mind, to the average Iraqi on the ground, the Saddam Hussein trial is very, very important because it is justice that is long overdue.
True.
But let's not forget that water is also important, power is also important, security is also important. So it's our job to know what is most important for the Iraqi people in order that we begin to move towards a post-conflict situation in Iraq.
Ahmed, the audience here is kind of chomping at the bit. Now, who thinks it's a bad idea to put this guy on television? And oh, you do, okay.
I do, yes.
Why?
To me, it's a pep rally for his followers. They're going to watch him and say, there's our hero, we must follow him. And so they're going to do what they have to do.
The people that already hate America, they'll just say it's rigged anyway, right?
Absolutely, no matter what we do.
What do you think about that, Ahmed?
Well, I think, just to use your terminology, a lot of the people that hate America also hate Saddam Hussein.
Well, yeah.
Number two, once Saddam Hussein is exposed for the oppression, for the brutality that he has committed upon the people, remember what I said about conspiracies. We want the truth to come out, and we know that the truth will be that Saddam Hussein has committed what could be genocide and crimes against humanity. And if the people of the world see that, if Muslims and Arabs see that, including those, that very, very small minority that might negligently support Saddam Hussein, they will begin to see the truth. And believe you me, as we saw in Rwanda, as we saw in Yugoslavia, as we saw even in the trial of Adolf Eichmann for the genocide, we know that once the truth is told, the people will follow the truth.
Question here.
Personally, I don't think children should be subject to seeing this. The money could be spent elsewhere.
Well, parents will have to decide whether, you know, who sees it and who doesn't. I think what everybody's concerned about is we don't want this to backfire and somehow Saddam Hussein is going to get on some high horse or on some soapbox and start yapping and spewing rhetoric. And tell me that's not going to happen, that he's not going to be allowed to give speeches.
I'm not on the tribunal, so I can't tell you that that's not going to happen. But, you know, I think this is a very serious tribunal. There has been some politicization by certain elements of the new government to try to rearrange the tribunal. And I think that there is a genuine will by the new Iraqi government to ensure that this is a fair and legitimate process. And it is definitely not in their interest that Saddam Hussein get up and start giving speeches and believe in the integrity of the Iraqi people and of the process of their new government, and I think we will be at a new stage.
Okay, Ahmed, we're going to keep my fingers crossed here. Ahmed Younis, thank you for that. Much more ahead on Dayside, plus Martha McCallum coming up at the top of the hour. Hi, Martha.
Hi there, Mike.